Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's talk some boxing. So I have some corrections to make about Pernell Whitaker's career. See that one KO loss that says he had, um, which they argue was against Carlos Borjoquez or Borjoquez. In truth, Pernell Whitaker, first of all, he wasn't really losing that fight. Second of all, something happened to his left arm. It seems as though they say he broke his clavicle. And as a result of that, he was not able to continue the fight with Borjoquez. But I think I thought it was his rotator cuff or something. Something happened to his arm. That's all I know. So why I talk about this is because effectively he had to retire from a fight because he wasn't in good health. I always ask this question, so I'm going to ask you guys this question. Think of any of the all-time greats, right? You tell me one of them that you think would be able to touch Pernell Whitaker. Because mostly for his career, Pernell Whitaker was untouchable. Who do you think of all the career greats would have knocked out Pernell Whitaker? Who? I really would like to hear. Because Whitaker at this very lengthy end stage of his career was still very, very elusive. Felix Trinidad couldn't knock him out. Oscar De La Hoya definitely couldn't knock him out. He faced Julio Cesar Chavez, who could not knock him out. Julio Cesar Vasquez couldn't knock him out. Azuma Nelson couldn't knock him out. Greg Hogan couldn't knock him out. Jose Luis Ramirez couldn't knock him out. So I'm just asking you guys. Roger Mayweather couldn't knock him out. So I just want to know if those guys couldn't knock him out, what's to make other all-time greats knock this dude out? Okay. Whitaker was one of a kind. His style was very unique in how he moved. He could box you backwards, so he generally moved in a circle, and he moved on the back foot mostly. He literally moved on the back foot. Very interesting boxer who never really stood directly in front of you. Even though you think he's standing in front of you, he's not actually directly in front of you. And that's the tricky thing about Pernell. He get all these unusual angles on his opponents so that they just couldn't line up the shot they really wanted to hit him with. On rare occasion, Felix Trinidad landed one or two punches on Pernell, I remember. I remember Oscar landing the straight right on Pernell once or twice, which is probably why they gave him the fight, because he probably landed on Pernell more than anybody else. Chavez couldn't touch him. Pernell's really good on the inside. He's really good on the outside. Julio Cesar Vasquez, who had just knocked out a dude, he couldn't touch him. Well, he touched him a little bit, but he couldn't really touch him, like put shots together. So I'm wondering, you stack Pernell up against Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, if Muhammad Ali was smaller, Roberto Duran. How does he fare against all those guys? And the thing about Pernell was Pernell could stay in the pocket on you. And he's comfortable. You're not going to do him anything. You're not going to touch him in the pocket. I mean, it's just amazing how he schooled Julio Cesar Chavez. A dude who fought on the inside all the time. Pernell just outworked him, out-hustled him, outplayed him, outboxed him. I mean, come on, man. So Pernell Whitaker is a one-of-a-kind sort of boxer. I haven't seen any other boxer quite like his style. His style, he's literally moving backwards, and he doesn't. The other thing about Pernell that really is sick, Pernell doesn't even move fast. Like, he takes his time and moves backwards at an angle to you, and you can't touch him. Like, you can't touch the dude. You know what I'm saying? If he wants to, he can snap back out of the way, move quickly out of the way. But he wasn't. He didn't even. His style doesn't even need quick reflexes. Like, it just needs timing. Like, Whitaker, he could do it too. He could move quickly out of the way of punches. He had quick reflexes too. But my point is that the style Pernell. You guys need to go study Pernell's style. It's different to any style I've ever seen before. And there's a reason why Pernell says there's only one Pernell Whitaker. I get it now. I get it. It's like he moves in lines outside of the lines where you would fire at him. You have to actually kind of turn your body to fire and hit Pernell. Because if you try to go down a straight line with a punch, you have to kind of anticipate where Pernell may be. In which case he can just switch up and change direction. And then you're going to miss him again. Like, he's really tough to hit. And he protects his body very, very well. So, I've been looking at him, especially defense-wise. He's airtight, man. He's airtight. I haven't seen another boxer like him. And no, Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s style is totally different to Pernell's. They follow some similar principles, but they're not the same at all. Floyd is more conventional. Pernell is kind of weird, man. His feet be doing something totally different to what his hands and his head and his upper body be doing. His feet be on their own trip. Like, they just doing their own thing. It's really crazy. You gotta go watch Pernell Whitaker's again. Dude is sick. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anybody in the known past history of Pernell who could have beaten him. I'm just being honest with you guys. I don't know anyone who could have beaten Pernell Whitaker. You know, they gave Oscar the fight because he touched up Pernell a little bit more than normal. Felix dropped him, right, and landed some good straight rights on him. Of course, he was at the end of his career when he faced Felix Trinidad. But the point anyway is that, I mean, Pernell could go out there today. He could go out there tomorrow. And he could face a guy right now, out of shape. And he'd get that guy all kinds of problems. You're not touching Pernell. You're just not touching the dude. You know, because of the style. I don't know if people understand what I'm saying. So I may have to illustrate it because it's crazy. It's really interesting, his style. And he can do other things, but just the style that he usually utilized in the ring, it's a very interesting one. Very interesting. And you know what's the thing? He'd usually use a jab. He'd not usually use a lot of feints. He used the standard stock jab, but it's just his movement is so different. He's like these odd angles that it's very hard to hit him flush with anything. You guys have a great one.